open. Welcome to the call. Hold on.
Morning, Barry, Columbia, South Carolina.
Welcome. Hold on here. I'm going to get this call started. Okay. I encourage all of you to be on the phone for the next few weeks, and hopefully you'll participate a little bit with me. My name's Karen Hill, and I'm from London, Ontario, a couple of hours outside of Toronto, up here in Canada. The next few weeks we're going to be talking about the skill of sharing our story, and it's an absolute vital piece if you're going to build a business. And so hopefully you'll stay with me over the next few weeks. We're going to break it down, and we're actually going to do some role playing and an opportunity for you to package some of your stories and have me take a listen to them. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to get all of you to help me out in that. Next week we're going to try and keep the lines open, and so it's going to mean that as you come on next week, if you can introduce yourself and where you're from, and then be sure to mute out your phone, particularly anyone that's calling in on a cell phone, because it will create noise on our line if I'm keeping it open, because I do want to work and share stories and work on packaging them with you next week. So hopefully hit star 6 to be practicing today so that you can encourage all of your team when they're coming on to do that. I want to start with an absolutely fantastic update. The XM3 liquid, some of you are aware that we've been back ordered in that particular area. It will be shipping today. So those little 4-ounce bottles of pure energy that I often will pack in my husband's lunch, those will be available and shipping. So get that message out to your team. That is an absolute spectacular product, and a lot of people have been waiting for its return as it's been on back order. So shipping today, tell everyone about that. Also want to quickly talk about December. There are a couple of things to keep in mind in the month of December. One, to really talk from a business standpoint. Often in the month of December, people aren't looking necessarily to purchase anything additional beyond what they already have to do in the month of December. But if you lead from a business standpoint, and in particular, the tax benefits of starting a new business, there's nothing better than getting started with a builder 1 or 2 in the month of December, because that investment in that builder system is a tax write-off against all the other income that you've made throughout the year. So it's a great time. Next to getting married, it's probably one of the best tax benefits that are available. So be talking from that frame of mind. So instead of spending money, here's a way where you can actually be saving money, and the tax benefits are significant. The other thing that you want to be doing in the month of December is sample. Whenever you can get the fit packs out, if you're sending Christmas cards this time of the year, be sure to drop a package of XM Plus in. You're already sending the Christmas card, so just drop a package of XM Plus in with a little note saying everybody can use a little extra energy this time of the year. Hope you enjoy this sample of XM Plus. It'll give you a tremendous energy boost on that day that you're dragging. Make sure that you're getting the information out to people in advance of the week between Christmas and New Year's. It's an absolute spectacular week in the industry of network marketing, and particularly with this company when we have a financial solution and we have a weight management solution. Those are the two things that people are thinking about between the week of Christmas and New Year's. It's the week that we look at resolutions. It's the week that we look at what has happened over the past year and how we're going to improve upon that the upcoming year. And the thing that people make resolutions about are financial and weight. Those are the two most popular resolutions, and you need to be in their mind. When they start to think about it during that week, you need to have already gave them the solution or the benefits of Zija so that they can make it part of their decision. They make decisions very rapidly. I'm sure some of you have heard the joking around fitness clubs and the fact that literally January 1st, you can't find a machine. I mean, there are no machines. You're standing in line at the club trying to get on every machine because people have made that commitment to improving their health and reducing their weight. And then literally 2 weeks later, there's nobody in the gym or the club again, and it's back to the regulars. So there's just a short window where people are focused on doing something different, and you need to have that information out prior to Christmas. So you can see that the next couple of weeks are a very important time. Also want to talk about the upcoming events. We've had some great Life Unlimited tour event stops. We've got a few left. Fort Wayne, Indiana, Akron and Columbus, Ohio, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, and San Antonio. So there's a few things coming up. There's also a big event in Atlanta, Georgia this coming weekend, and I know that Pat Anderson and Joel McNish are headed to Florida for next week, so there's lots of opportunities. Be sure to look at the event schedule for the activities that are coming up close to you. So let's get started. Not only have I lost 25 pounds since starting on the Zija weight management products, but I'm so grateful for all the anti-inflammatory properties of moringa. Prior to taking the Zija products, I had broken my ankle, and although the various casts and 10 weeks in bed had allowed the bones to repair, I just couldn't feel stable anymore when I was walking. After 3 months on the products, I could see definition in my ankle and my foot again, and finally the stability to wear shoes with heels again. Thank you, Zija, for those wonderful product results. You know, when we look back on history, there's one person that comes to mind, particularly for those people that are in the U.S., and that's Lincoln. And Lincoln was one of the greatest storytellers of all time. He understood a concept that telling people stories was the fastest, easier route to winning their hearts and winning them over and having them move forward in the direction that he wanted them. Rather than getting into a long discussion and useless explanations, he knew that sharing stories was the best method. And successful network marketers have also learned that same lesson. You know, it doesn't have to be an epic saga. In reality, it just needs to be something simple that appeals to many individuals. You know, I started using the Zija products, and to my surprise, I finally found that I had enough energy after work to actually enjoy my children. So that's just a simple story, but it literally can appeal to many individuals. I found a solution in Zija to compensate for my declining health. Simple story, it applies to virtually every sort of disease and issue that someone's going and having within their lives. By that simple statement, they can relate to it. I found a solution in Zija to compensate for my declining health. It doesn't matter why the health is declining, but Zija is a solution. It's important that your story is true and that it comes from your heart. It will literally attract people like a magnet when you come from your heart. You know, the definition of a story is just literally, it's a compact narrative that inspires others. You're just sharing what's happened to you in a compact narrative form that ultimately inspires others. And you need to be able to relate your Zija experiences in a simple conversational term that others can relate to. It's absolutely essential. So you don't want to get your story so complicated that people go, oh man, there's just no way. If you're very, very specific on your story, there are only going to be a few people that will relate to you. The wider and the broader your story can be, the more people that will relate to you. So when you're sharing it, whether you're sharing it from the stage, whether you're sharing it with a prospect that you've just met in the grocery store, or whether you're sharing it as part of a three-way call validation, that story will appeal to a wide audience. Now, what's important in those stories is that it is all about benefits. What's in it listening to the story wants to know. They don't really want to know all the facts and all the technical data about Moringa oleifera, how many antioxidants, how many anti-inflammatories. They don't want to know anything of that nature. They'd rather know what are the benefits for them. So something like it improved my immune system so that I don't catch every cold and sniffle at work anymore. I've got a faster recovery time. Every athlete wants to find a product that improves their recovery time. I've got improved mobility. If you're over the age of 50, anything that improves your mobility or allows you to get out of bed in the morning is a positive, and it's a benefit for those of us that are over 50. Customers just want to know, will a product make a difference in their lives, and what are the benefits? I want to draw your attention to two marketing campaigns that were absolutely spectacular, and they really point out what I'm saying here about when you're talking to the customer, it's all about benefits. And I want you to think about who used this particular line. You deserve a break today. You deserve a break today. I mean, talk about a benefit. You know, of course I deserve a break today. You deserve a break today. And if you haven't come up with it already, it was McDonald's, and it was a highly successful campaign. What about this one? Reach out and touch someone. Reach out and touch someone. Wow, I'd love to be able to use a product that's going to allow me to have an impact on somebody else in a positive manner. AT&T used that as a very successful campaign. You know, it's a feature. It's not a feature, it's a benefit. You know, McDonald's didn't talk about what's in the Big Mac, because if they did, we probably wouldn't have ate it. But they talked about the benefit of not having to cook dinner or not having to cook lunch. You deserve a break today. And the coverage area of AT&T, how many clients, how many customers they had, all of those numbers don't mean anything. But the benefit of being able to reach out and speak to someone clear across the country and brighten their day was a huge benefit, and that's why those campaigns were so successful. So let's brainstorm a little bit. What are some of the benefits of the Zija products? Well, I'm going to give you a bit of a list. How about clearer skin, more energy, better sleep, improved health, increased mobility, look younger? I mean, who wants to look older? Clarity, better focus, lose weight without feeling hungry, faster recovery time, easy way to ensure optimal nutrition, no struggles to swallow pills. You know, if that's an issue for you, then that's a huge benefit, and there are many people that struggle to swallow pills. We provide nutrition without having to swallow pills. Quick and easy breakfast saves money, extra hours of productivity. You know, there's all kinds of benefits. I could go on and list page after page, and what's important is the benefits that you experience. So start to write them down. When it comes to packaging your story, there are 5 things that you need to cover. The first thing you're going to cover is your name and where you're from. If you're doing it in a public meeting environment, you're going to want to indicate your name and where you're from. If you're just meeting somebody at the grocery store, you can skip the where you're from, because clearly you're probably from the neighborhood. But obviously you want to share your name. So you don't always have to have your name and where you're from, but there are applications for having both of those. The second thing you're going to talk about is a credential, if you have one that's appropriate. So, i.e., if you're a nurse or a personal fitness trainer or a chiropractor or a doctor or a professional hockey player or a marathon runner, so there may be some credentials that are appropriate prior to you sharing your story and the results that you got. Then you'll indicate what products that you started on. And again, I want you to keep it very general. So you started on the nutritional products, you started on the weight management, you started on peak performance or skincare, or maybe it was just a single specific product that you started on. What I don't want to see in a story is a whole long list, because the prospect is going, oh, this sounds too complicated. So if you say, instead of saying the weight management system, if you say I started on the AMs and the PMs, and I took Super Mix, and I took tea at night, and I added the burn product, and oh yeah, and I take Prime 90 sometimes in the morning, it's too complicated. So, and they don't understand what any of those products are. So the story should be as simple as I started on the weight management system. If the benefits that you received are connected to the weight management system, then you can indicate that's how you started. Or peak performance, or skincare, or nutritional. And then you need to list or add in 2 or 3 benefits that have occurred for you because you consume these products. And you leave the best one to last. So your name, where you're from is the first thing. Credentials, if appropriate. Not everyone will have credentials. The third thing is what products you started on. The fourth thing is 2 or 3 benefits. And the fifth thing is leaving the last most important benefit that you found with these products to the end of your story. So let's look at some product lines. Here's some things to kind of get you the juices flowing and get you thinking about putting your own story together. What really makes the Zija product different than all the other products that I've tried is they work. They have given me new freedom, have the energy to enjoy my grandchildren's visits. I found a solution in the Zija products. The really exciting thing is, the best part is, those are a couple of lines that you can use near the end of your story and then put that significant benefit in right after those 2 lines. I find myself no longer snacking between meals. I'm sleeping through the night for the first time in 5 years. I've always had an interest in getting my kids to eat well. With Zija Smart Mix, I no longer have to worry whether they're getting the proper nutrition each day. As an athlete, I found it almost impossible to find all the nutrients needed from my food to ensure peak performance. Now I start each day with Prime 90 and Super Mix. As a parent, I wanted to ensure proper nutrition for my family, and Zija makes that so easy. I, like many women, found it difficult to return to my pre-pregnancy weight. After just 3 months on Zija weight management products, I'm down 20 pounds. Dry skin has always been a problem for me, especially in the winter. Nothing I tried seemed to make a difference. Finally, I found relief with the Zija oil. So those are just some combinations of words, some ideas to kind of get you thinking about your product story. So the challenge now for each of you that are listening is to spend the week writing out your story and practice it. Look in the mirror and practice your story, and practice it, and rewrite again, and practice it, and pare it down. If it's non-essential, pare it down. Ask yourself the question, is it appealing to many or just a select few? Make it as broad as you possibly can. Look in the mirror when you're trying to decide. You know, I've got 3 or 4 benefits. Look in the mirror and say those benefits, and watch your face so that you discover which is the most important one to you. Sometimes you feel it's one, but when you actually look in the mirror and you see the smile, you figure out that it's actually one of the other ones that is the most beneficial to you. So as you're figuring out the order, you may even try telling the story to someone else and let them figure out which is the most beneficial for you. So write it, practice it, rewrite it, work with someone, share the story, rewrite it again. That's your homework over the next week. this story is absolutely essential. Now, you heard my very short version of my story, so literally my 30-second story. I can expand upon that story depending on the person that I'm talking to, but I always come back to that 30-second story that talks about the 25 pounds that I lost when I started on the weight management system, and the fact that I was dealing with the inflammation associated with breaking my ankle, and the fact that in coming and taking these products, I was able to find definition. I was able to eventually get back into high heels again, and I thought that that just wasn't going to occur. So share those stories and practice over the next week, and we're going to have an opportunity to work on them next week, and that will help you learn how to coach and teach your team how to develop their stories. It's one of the most important pieces of this business, and as I came over to this company a year ago, it's one of the areas that I don't think has really been stressed enough. I'm telling you, this one simple skill of developing your story, both your product story, and once we get through the product story, we'll then be working on your business stories, which are usually the more difficult to package. So that's why we've started with the product story. But it's absolutely essential piece. It will move your business forward. You know, if you can, someone says, "What is Zija?" instead of going into moringa oleifera and how to spell it, you can literally, well, what is Zija? To me, Zija is the product that I lost 25 pounds on, and it gave me back the stability to wear high heels again. That's what Zija is to me from a product standpoint, and we'll be sharing down the road what it is to me from a business standpoint. So hold on, and I'm going to open up the line, see if you've got any questions. Okay, any questions or updates on activities and meetings occurring in this upcoming week? Hey, Carl, I appreciate it. Great call, Karen. Thank you, Rachel. Have a great day. Great call, Karen. Lynn and the road to the Wicked Bayman. I'm filling up in Ohio.
Great call, Karen. Gary Thompson.
Thanks, Karen, for the number. You're right.
Can't see Karen. What up, you can today? Next time, we're beyond. We'll move forward that.
I want to thank you for the call. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Great call, you, Tony. That's my husband. Georgia. Thank you, Karen. Michael Saxon, Sacramento, California.